Hey guys, welcome into Nightcap with RhinoMan. I'm your host, RhinoMan, and tonight's guest is going to be special. You know, she's a young lady. She has 4 kids, and she loves adult Chuck E. Cheese. We'll find out about that in a minute. But first, as I do, I have 3 questions for you. The first question is, what do you consider high limit? Think about it. I mean, just a few years ago, high limit was like $5, $10 a bet. $20 was like way up there. What do you consider high limit? What would be high limit to you and your channel right now? You can leave it in the comment if you'd like to. I see anonymous came in. Question number 2. Do you have different levels, different limits of play for different casinos? Meaning, do you budget differently for different casinos? Your local casino versus Vegas. That's just something to think about. And question number 3 is, how do you feel about playing slots at the airport? You know, we're going to get the answer to all these questions in a little bit from our guest, but I want to know what you think about it. Right now, if you see the banner going across the bottom of the screen there, we don't have a channel supporter today. However, if you guys are going to be in Southern California Saturday, come to Yamava. Hang out with a bunch of us. The Hit It and Quit It event's going to be happening. And hey, we would really appreciate it if you come down and hang with us. So I'm like doing a little pre-gaming. I don't know if you could see it. It's like kind of clear. But this is a large Cabo Wabo margarita that I'm sucking down today. I also have the beer, but I thought it would be a nice change of pace to have some margaritas. Mrs. Rhino does not agree with me at all. Let's see who's in the chat. Sarcy Velasquez, thank you for coming in. Sister Yoshi, always. Anonymous, Stephen Hall. It's been a while, bro. Thank you for coming in. Goldie Slots. Let's see. Brooklyn 1, thank you for coming in. Jose Slots Ruiz, thank you for coming in. Hey guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you like any of the content, go check out some of the other content. Check out the guests. Please, please, please check out our guests. This is a new upcoming channel, and you guys are going to be impressed by her. Definitely. James Coupler, thank you for coming in. Goldie Slots, she's going to be on an upcoming episode, so we look forward to seeing her. So without any further ado, let's get her in here and have her introduce herself.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So introduce yourself to everybody out here. I see Randy the Slot Wizard's in here. Slot Mates. Hey, real quick before we get over that, Slot Mates, happy birthday. And that was an excellent birthday gift. I saw that major drop on that high limit machine. So congratulations, bro, to both of you. Okay, so introduce yourself to everybody that's watching right now.
All right, everyone. I am Sky Slots. My name is not Sky, though. Everyone thinks it's Sky, but then my name is actually Sarah. But the SKY is Sarah Kong Yang. So Kong is actually my husband. We live in North Carolina, close to the new casino that's going to be building up, Catawba Two Kings. And we have 4 kids together. And we love to gamble. We love to play slots, or I love to play slots. And then my husband, Kong, he is more of a table game player. But he's not able to do the interview today just because I guess his job or something like that.
We're getting a little bit of feedback on your side with the audio.
Oh, you
Let
guys
me
are
see if
okay.
I could fix that on this end here. If not, we'll have to see if it's on your end. If you could probably either turn up or turn down your sound. I've been having terrible, terrible sound effects lately with some of the audio. Let's see if that works.
All right, let me see. How does that?
How does that sound, guys?
Is that good?
Better? Somebody give me a thumbs up if it sounds good. Okay, I guess it sounds okay. So you still an echo, Sister Yoshi says. I wonder if it's
Still
coming from my
echo.
end.
I have the echo cancellation off, so I'm hoping that that's working.
Let me see here. I'll see if I could do it from my end for you here. How does that sound, guys?
I think
Hey,
it might
hey,
be
Ron
me.
Lee, what's going on?
Is it me?
I think we might have got it squared away.
Is it
Sister
working?
Yoshi?
Yes,
Yes, I think so. Thumbs
I
up.
think so.
Yeah.
I don't hear myself echoing anymore. It must have been me. I'm not even sure.
Okay, good. We're good. It's good now.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Thank you guys. Hey, this is a live show. You got to deal with the issues that come up. And I am working on purchasing new equipment, new computer, new sound, new speakers. So if anybody in the chats wants to buy anything for me, Sister Yoshi, please drop a link to my mailing address. Anybody out there can send me whatever you guys want. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Um, anyway, Sarah, go ahead and say 4 kids, married, live in North Carolina. You have a new casino that's opening up next to you, and that's going to be how long before it opens?
Well, they were supposed to complete it this year, towards the end of the year, but they keep pushing it out, and I think it's because 'cause they're still taking donations, and so
Okay,
and so we've been waiting for it, but then, like, for now, they're adding on to what they have right now. So right now, it's, like, literally just trailers. It's like a big old trailer with like just a bunch of slot machines in there. And then
okay.
they're adding to it, and what they're adding to it from what I heard is a sports betting. And I was like,
Oh,
"Okay, yeah."
nice.
So a lot of people have been requesting for sports betting, and then they're hoping to get the table game licensing. That way they could start doing table games. But now at this point, I'm kind of like, I don't think they're ever going to build this casino. They're going to probably keep it the way it is and just keep adding to it. But
Probably. Real quick, let me say hi to a couple of people. I see Lucky Obsession, Slots and Scratching in the house. Hey, suck it up. Linda L. Thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it. Love your videos lately. Hey, you're hitting some big, massive orbs on Dragon Link for sure. Randy the Slot Wizard, thank you for the sounds good. Ashley Slots, can't wait to get you on in a week or so, I think. I got to talk to my channel manager there. Goldie Slots, thank you for coming in. Mama Yoshi, I always appreciate it. Dallas Country Scratcher, too, thank you for coming in. And there's Gamblers Unknown. He has that May 4th um, Major Chaser Strikes Back event. That's going to be awesome. And we're trying to see if we can get you in there. We talked earlier about that. Anyway, so you doubt they're going to get the casino built up in time. Um, they're just going to keep adding on trailers to it, huh?
yeah, I mean, so far they have like the machine, roulette, machine craps, machine blackjack, baccarat, like just the machine version of it. But we all
Yeah.
know, the machine's different from the table. So everyone wants to play the table. But then, I mean, they've been doing pretty good with the machines. It's like super busy there on the weekends, like really
Okay.
busy. So I don't know.
And
We'll see what happens.
how close is that to your house?
It's about a good, I think, 20-minute, 30-minute drive. It just depends on traffic because we live like pretty close to 85, I-85.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
that's your local casino that you go to gamble and record videos at and so forth?
Yes, yes. So far, we haven't done Cherokee yet because Cherokee, they have a Harris casino over there that's owned by Caesars, and so we haven't recorded there yet. They do
Okay.
have table games there too, but we just haven't gone all the way out there. That's like a 3-hour drive for us too.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
like for me the equivalent is Vegas, which I'll be doing on Sunday. That 3 hour drive, 2.5 hours if I put my foot on the gas.
Oh my goodness.
Tell us about your channel. Why did you start a slot channel?
Okay, so I started the slot channel only because of tax purposes. And it wasn't like to get like any views or subscribers or anything. I was literally just doing it for tax purposes, and then the memory on my phone was just getting too much, and I was like, I need to like upload this somewhere where I could just like have it there. And I decided, I'm just gonna go ahead and um just load it onto YouTube. And then at that point, Colin was like, you might as well just have a slot channel like Lady Luck or whatever. And I was like, okay, I guess. But then it literally just started last year, I would say around summertime. And it was only because I won my first hand pay back in 2019. Wait, no, 2020. I don't know. It was one of those 2 years. And when we did the taxes the following year, because I didn't keep up with my losses, my win and loss statement,
Okay.
I had to pay the taxes and I couldn't write off like my losses. And so after
I,
that, I was like, I
we'll
need to start recording.
we'll talk about that in a second. Dallas Country Scratcher has a question for you. Put it in the chat, and we'll get it over to her so she can answer it. But you were telling me earlier, Spanglish Slots is in the house. Shaka Slots is in the house. Thank you for coming in. You were telling me earlier that you can't write off your losses against your wins.
Yeah, we in the state of North Carolina, they actually changed the law back in, I think, 2014, where you cannot write your losses off against your winnings. And so when it's time to pay, or when it's time to do your taxes before the tax expiration, you literally have to pay the taxes for North Carolina. And I think it's like 25-30% of what you've won in hand pays.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Dallas Country Scratcher 2 says, who or what was your inspiration for starting her channel?
Who or what? My inspiration, I would have to say it's we all know Lady Luck, we all know NG, we know Mr. Mike, but I've watched more Lady Luck HQ
Okay.
than anyone else, and I was like, man, she's always hitting big, and I was always too scared to bet as high as she does, but I was like, I'll try it, and that's when I got addicted to the high limit.
Okay.
Yes.
No, so I've been through your channel, and I've looked at videos. I've looked at some of your low bets and high bets. So I'm going to start off. We're going to ask you the three questions that I asked everybody in the beginning. Okay.
Okay.
What do you consider high limit? And cheers, by the way. I
Oh,
see you got your wine in your hand.
yeah, thank you. Um, for me, I consider high limit to be like, I would say 25 or higher. So if I'm betting like
Okay.
$25 a smack, that is what is like high. That's pretty high for Kong. If Kong saw me betting that much, he'll be like, okay, that's okay. But I've bet as high as like what? I think 150 or 200 before, and
Yeah.
Kong cannot be there when I'm betting that high because he will pass out.
So I did see you slapping the buttons at 125 and 150 on
Yes.
some of your Huff and Puff machines and some of your other machines. So um, yeah, that makes him nervous. So I guess that answers one of my later question: who likes to gamble more, you or him? But it's obvious we know where you stand, and we'll get into the high limit issue. So you consider high limit anything 25 and up?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
that's a fair statement. So you could burn through money pretty quick at $25 a spin.
Yes, you can. So I actually, like, for example, I could put $1,000 into a Dragon Cash machine, and I
Okay,
could do like a $25 bet on dollar denom or even the lower denoms.
okay,
And, it's either hit or miss. It's either the machine's gonna pay out or it's not gonna pay out. And I've done it to where I would put like 1,000 in there and I would get nothing.
okay.
But when it hits good.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does hit good if you could, but see, if you could keep that kind of momentum going through a long period of time, yeah, it'll definitely hit good. Aaron Lee. I'm sorry. I'm just joking around, Aaron. Aaron Lee wants to know what your biggest winning trip is as well as your biggest losing trip.
So my biggest winning trip was probably back in July last year, and I'm pretty sure most of the people here, most of you guys have seen my piggy bank game. I had like 4 parts, and I was literally on that machine for a good about almost 2 hours, 1.5 to 2 hours, and I was betting high though. I was going from anywhere from like 25 all the way up to like, I think 150, and I think when I cashed out, it was like 33,000.
Wow.
And yeah, and I when I went back to the hotel, because I only brought 10,000 with me to Vegas for the few days that I was there, and then
Hold
when
on.
I
Time
yeah, go
out.
ahead.
You only took 10,000 with you as a budget. Hey guys, I see some of you in there. Yoshi Slots, Spanglish, Goldie, Beer Belly Slots, Kissy Cat. Thank you for coming in. How many of you, just with a thumbs up, take 10 grand with you as a budget to go to the casino? I'd just like to see it. Hey, I think you like 100 times my
Is it just me?
hey, that's awesome. If you, I'm not knocking you. If you can afford to do that, do it and have a good time with it. Um, but can I hang with you and Kong for a little while? No.
Yeah, that'll be fun. You guys can always hang with us.
Hey, I enjoyed meeting you at Cosmo. Your first live, it was awesome.
Thank you for
Um,
being there.
hey, it was a good time. Brazen's the one that introduced
Yes.
introduced you to me, and she's fantastic herself.
Yes.
So anyway, go on. You only took 10 grand with you to the casino.
Yes, I only took 10 grand. And so the only reason why I took that trip was because we were there July 4th weekend. And after we left, I was like, I wonder how many points I got playing. I was only like, I think, 100 points away from hitting gold status at the Cosmo. And I was
Okay.
like, this is BS. I can't believe they're going to take that 100 and just not give me the gold status. And so that's why I went the following, like 2 weeks later, I went in middle of July, and I was betting. That's when I started going really, really high. I literally skipped gold status and went straight to platinum. And then the most, because when I went back to the hotel, because I was staying at the Venetian, I counted how much I had. I had like 50,000 with me at that point. So I came with 10,000, and then I had 50,000, and then I was playing a little bit. By the time I got home, I was, like, down to 30,000, but I was like, "That's still a good win for me," you know?
Any trip you come back from Vegas and you're either even or up a little bit, hey, that's a winning trip because
Yes.
one, you got all that entertainment out of it and you didn't have to worry. Linda L says she just subscribed to you. I saw
Thank
Randy the
you.
slot wizard in here. He said he doesn't even have 10,000 pennies. So there you go. And then I saw, let's see who else was in here. Said 10,000 is a nice round number to take to Vegas. So anyway, there you go. Spanglish Slot says the max I've taken to a casino is 3K for my birthday in 2020 before the pandemic and the casino shut down. I lost all of it. Oh, sorry, Spanglish. But you're getting it back now. I see some of those big wins you have coming across your way. Anyway, so you came
So,
back with 30K.
yeah, that was my biggest wins in Vegas. And then my loss now, because I think they wanted to know the loss. So my
Yes.
biggest loss was probably 10,000, because I went
Okay.
back in August because of a slot tournament, and I only brought 10,000 again. I always bring around that much, 5 to 10, and
Okay.
I lost about 10,000, but then when I came back home, I had like 1,000 left. So I guess it's about 9,000 that I lost.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was gut wrenching, but then I was is, that's how it is whenever we go to Vegas. You go big or you
But
go home.
but you took 10,000. That was your budget, and if you lost, you lost. So you went home,
Yeah.
without the 10K. Not Mrs. Rhino Man says, Rhino Man, I can have that amount for Monday in Vegas. Or can I have that amount for Monday? Sure, baby. I will pull it out of my butt and give it to you for Vegas. So I wanted to ask you about the high limit because we had a conversation earlier. I got to speak with Kong a little bit. Um, he has $1,000 sort of theory on machines,
Yeah.
and can you explain that for him?
So basically, what Kong likes to do, he puts 1,000 in and he'll max bet it. And if he loses, he loses and he just walks away. And he's like, if it wanted to give me a bonus, it would have gave me a bonus, but it didn't give me
Yeah.
one, so I'm leaving. That's usually what he says. And so that's how he likes to play. But he is a very analytical person. Like he likes predictability. If it starts paying like some line hits, he's like, okay, I think it's gonna shoot a bonus or something. So he observes how the game is playing out when he's there and playing it.
Okay.
But if he just automatically just goes straight downhill, he's like, I'm out of here. I can't do this.
So and okay, so you guys know she's the slot player of the family. He is the table games player. He's very analytical. He really studies things, and we're going to talk about you studying machines as well. But I
Mhm.
have I have this question for the group. When you're playing Dragon Link, Lightning Link, pretty much any of the links, you have a better chance of winning greater amounts over a shorter period of time, betting the max bet or the second highest max bet. Meaning, like if you're on 1 cent denom, you should be betting 5 cents or 250 each spin versus the 50-cent spin. Um, Not to say that you can't win on a 50-cent spin. You could sit there and play and play and play, and eventually you might get that big hit. It would take you a longer period of time to do it versus a shorter period of time on the higher limits if you get a bigger bet. So we switch our bets around quite often. You you have that same type of theory. That's why you bet higher amounts on different games, correct?
Yes. So whenever we go and play, like for me, I like to test out what is hitting. So if you guys have watched my some of my videos, I would always change the denomination. I would start off small and do like a minimum bet, and then I'll start going up, building it up a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, this 1 cent denom's not doing nothing. Let me go to 5 cent denom, see what's happening there. And so I always change it up just to see, but then if you play minimum bet, I feel like it's gonna take a longer time to actually get a good bonus. Whereas if you were max betting or even betting in the middle and up, then your chances of hitting a good bonus is much better because you're not like putting all that money in on a minimum bet and it's just gonna be like, all right, here's a small little thing for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about your biggest losses. We talked about your biggest wins. That was question number one about the high limit. Question number two, do you have different limits for different casinos?
Yes. So whenever we go to our local casino, we always bet like small bets. And that's why if you guys, at Two Kings Casino, because I feel like they're still building up and trying to get their clientele and all that, they're still taking donations to get something for their building.
Okay.
And so for us, we feel like, we have to be careful how much we're betting. And we're part of the Facebook group for our local casino too, and they
Okay.
have people there that will like they'll tell you what they're hitting, what they're betting and everything. And for us, it's kind of a way for us to research on, okay, when's a good time to go play. Whereas when we go to Vegas, we go hard in Vegas, and it's only because we live all the way on the East Coast. We don't get to see Vegas as much as you do. And so for us, it's like, okay, if we're gonna go, we're gonna go, and we're gonna do something good. And if we lose it, then it's okay. We had fun.
Exactly. Let me stop you right there. I just want to say hi to a couple of people that came in.
Yeah.
Rains World, Vegas Slots, thank you for coming in. El Wedo Slots, thank you for coming in. Spanglish again, Kissy Cat. Um, thank you guys all for being here. Really appreciate it. So we're gonna go back to um, getting out to Vegas and how you go hard in Vegas versus your local casino and the one you're familiar with.
Yeah.
So you consider yourself high limit in Vegas, low limit at home.
Yeah.
Right? There,
I
there's,
like, yeah, I mean, I at first I was like, I don't want to just do high limit because I want to do some low limit too. And I used to just play like just low limit because I didn't understand any slot games. And then when I started researching more and more and more on how to play the pay tables and all of that, you start to realize that, dang, this machine or this company that manufactures these machines, these Dragon Link machines, is better than these machines over here because, like Cloverlink, or for example, like those
yeah.
machines, it's all different. And so when you start paying attention and research on um, what's hitting and what's not hitting, then you start to see a difference. And then also, what was I gonna say? Uh, the casino, our local casino is actually Indian Native American owned, and so that
Okay.
makes a big difference compared to Vegas. Vegas has
Okay.
very, very strict guidelines when it comes to payouts, whereas with the Native American casinos, it's it could be tight or it could be loose. It just depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think most of the casinos, regardless if they're Indian or, and I could be wrong on this, most of the casinos, they have a minimum that they could set their payout rate to. And Vegas, they do have a minimum that they set it to. But the thing is, for Vegas, it is accessible to anybody to look up online. I don't think the Indian tribes have to publish their payout tables the way that Vegas does. So that's another reason for going big on Vegas. If you look at the payouts, obviously off the strip pays a lot better than on the strip for some of those casinos for sure. The slot rippers in the house. Thank you for coming in. Um, so you have two different bet amounts for home, local, and going to Vegas.
Yes. I mean, I told Cons like I do want to try high limit like just one time over there, like $50 max bet on a Dragon Link machine just to see what happens. And he's just like, okay, you got to go on your own for that because he can't stand to watch what's going to happen. But then he always misses out, so that's his fault.
Okay, so I have a question regarding that. So if he's hey Chris and Lou, thank you for coming in. So he sort of stays away from you when you start slapping the button at the bigger bets, right?
Yes, yes, he does. Cause for him, he sees the money just going down, 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 and I'm telling him, like, "It's gonna hit, it's gonna hit, it's okay," and then and then he walks away, and then it eventually hits, and it pays out really, really well. And, I have to call him. I was telling you earlier, like, whenever I call him, he thinks I'm calling him for money, but I'm actually calling him to let him know I just hit a really good bonus. And this has happened like 2 or 3 times already with him.
So Dallas Country Scratcher 2 says, when you go to the casino, how many YouTubers have you met in person?
I I haven't met any YouTubers at my local casino. But when I was in Vegas last time, the most I've ever met was when I first met you, Brazen, her husband. I think his channel is Jaywalking in Vegas,
Yeah.
and not Mrs. Rhino Man. And I think that was really it. Oh, I also met I think it's Debbie Loves Slots, and I also met Slot 500 Club before. So, I
Okay.
mean, it I think it's probably like 5, just a handful.
Okay. That's good. So I have some questions. We're gonna jump off topic. We'll get back onto the high limit betting in a minute and how scared Kong gets when you go crazy. But I think it's actually smart that you don't play high limit close to home because if you go on a bad streak for a while, that could be kind of bad.
Yeah.
At least when you go to Vegas, you take 10 grand. If you come home with less than 10 grand, then you that was your budget. You're all good.
Yeah.
So here's the question that I have. You have 4 kids. What do your kids think about you doing YouTube?
They actually they love it because they want to be YouTubers themselves. And so, I've talked to them about it, and I told them, I was like, if you have a YouTube channel, you have to find something that you want to do. And of course, I have 3 boys. They're like, we want to play games. We want to, just play games. And, that's become really popular on YouTube with children. And so I told them, I was like, you guys go ahead and do that. And so it's funny because I told them, I think it was yesterday or the other day, I was like, "Mommy has almost 300 subscribers." And they're like, "What? You have almost 300 subscribers? Wow. Can we be YouTubers?" And so
Yeah.
I was just chuckling and I was like, "Yeah, you guys could do it." But they love it. They've seen my videos too.
Okay. So that brings me to the question, what is adult Chuck E. Cheese?
So adult Chuck E. Cheese is the casino.
Is the
And
casino.
yes. Yes, is the casino. We told our kids because we took them to Chuck E. Cheese one day, and we were like, okay, later on, mommy and daddy, we're gonna go to the adult Chuck E. Cheese, and they're like, what's that? And I was like, that's where mommy goes to play and win all the jackpots. So that's what they call it now, adult Chuck E. Cheese.
So you tell them we're going to Chuck E. Cheese, and they're like, "Okay, win the jackpots then."
Yes, yes. My youngest son, he's always like, "Can I go with you when I'm 21?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can. You could go when you're 21."
There you go. Hey, you have to take note from slot mates and take all your kids to Circus and go hit those big jackpots because they're there in Vegas now. I believe they're still there. But they
Really?
Yeah, they took all their kids. They have 5 kids. They took them all to Circus, and I remember taking my kids to Circus at that time too. Just letting them do their thing during the day. Got my granddaughter to Sunday. I think we'll be heading to Vegas, and I'll be taking her over there and having a good time. But I think they just took all of the jackpots away. So Randy, the slot wizard, wants to know how nervous you were when you did your first stream.
I was I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Me and Kong, when we were on the airplane, we actually pre-gamed on the airplane. We always pre-game on the airplane, and then when we get to Vegas, we're just like just riding it out the whole time. And so I wasn't nervous, but I was just kind of like buzzed.
Well, the pre-gaming helps for sure. 5K
Yes.
said he was so nervous he thought he was going to overfill his diaper because he has to wear a diaper on those long flights to Vegas just to get him there. I know how that goes. 5K. It happens to me too. So you were pre-gaming, and that was when we met you, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, that
Okay.
was when you guys met me. I think we had like a few drinks in already.
Oh, that's good. That's good. It takes away those jitters because you did a fantastic job on that live. And if you guys haven't seen it, go over to her page, check it out. It's a good live, and she did a good job. Wish she would have got that grand, but
That grant was
close.
maxed out for a long time.
Okay, so now let's talk about studying the machines.
Mhm.
Tell us what you do when you say you study a machine before you play it.
So, one thing I always do is I walk the floor. I make sure I pay attention to all the machines and figure out what's hitting and what's not hitting. So, for example, we all know that Dragon Link is a really, really popular game, and I like playing Dragon Link too. I would always go and kind of scout. I know, like some people think that I'm lurking, but I'm not really lurking. I'm just studying the machines and just kind of trying to see if there's a pattern going on. When you start to
Yeah.
see a pattern going on, that's when you're kind of like, okay, I need to stick or put this on my little list of machines to play. And
Okay.
I always look for maxed out, majors just because those are fun to play. And then, also pay attention to, I guess the crowd, where the crowd is at. I feel like when
Okay.
it's more crowded in a certain area, it's hitting a lot better than, like, the other side of the casino.
Yes. Let's see. Kissy Cat says, "Does anyone remember the old machine called Phoenix? I won more on that. Can't find them anywhere." You know, Kissy Cat, they removed those from the casino because you were winning so much. They said, "Hey, we got to take this away. Kissy Cat can't win anymore." But no, haven't heard yet. I love the good machines that seem to pay out. They pull them out. They pull them off the floor. Ask not Mrs. Rhino Man. She could attest to that.
Mhm. Yeah, they did that to one of my machines at the
So
Cosmo.
so when you study the machines, you go in and then you go hard on those machines and either win or lose.
Yeah, that's what I do. I guess I'm trying to think of a good example. So, okay, at my local casino, when I think I just posted this video just like a few days ago, but it's when I landed the major on Autumn Moon. And
Okay.
so I was the Dragon Link machines are always busy at our local casino. And so, I was sitting there waiting just to get on the machine. And I knew I wanted to play Autumn Moon. And it's only because, I go with my gut feeling. And I was telling Kong, I'm like, I have a really strong feeling that Autumn Moon is going to pay out. It is going to pay out the grand. And Kong was like, okay, whatever. He doesn't believe in my gut. And so, I ended up going and I was waiting for the lady to get off the machine so I could play. And so she eventually got off. And when she did, I started doing $10 bets on $2 denom because she was getting bonuses. But then I was like talking to myself in my head, and I was like, she needs to play $2 bet on 10 or $2 denom on $10 bet so she could land that major. But she wouldn't do it, and so eventually she got up and left. Right when I sat down, I ended up getting the orb bonus, and I could feel her laser eyes just looking or staring down at me, and I was like, "Oh my god, I hope she's not mad." But then, you just have to study the machines because I was there the following day, and I was like, "Okay, what machines are paying out? Pay attention to the bonuses." Like that's what I did, and then know what is going to hit. Oh yeah, and also Autumn Moon did hit the grand. The same machine, it hit the grand like 2, 3 days afterwards.
Okay, you didn't stay on it long enough. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
I couldn't stay there for 72 hours.
Hey, I've seen people do that, and that brings up Rain's World's thing. She was watching somebody on the machine for an hour. She knew the lady was she was waiting, so she ran out of money. So she called the slot attendant to lock up the machines. I hate when they do that, um, but you just gotta. At one point, you have to say no more, and
Yeah.
that's a good question for you. When you're playing high limit and you're betting, anywhere $50 to $150 a spin, when do you say enough's enough? You take 10 grand with you, but you're not putting the whole 10 grand in one machine.
Oh
So
no.
how do you know when to cut it off when you're doing these high limit spins?
So I usually put like 1,000 to 1,500 into the machine first, and
Okay.
then I like to do the 50-cent denom, 25, $50 bets, and if it eats up that whole $1,000 or the whole 1,500, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put 500 in here. And then it literally hits the bonus right after I put the next 500 in.
Okay.
And that's when, like, I always tell, I usually tell Kong and I tell everyone else, always flush the toilet. It's a courtesy
I was
flush.
going to ask you what that meant, but okay.
Always flush the toilet. And when I say that, basically, you want to make sure that you're not going to miss out on the bonus that is to come. So you put 1,000 into the machine. Okay, buy $1,000, but you put 500 into the machine, the same machine, and you will literally hit a bonus in the next 5 spins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gamblers Unknown wants to know how much are you fine with losing a month?
How much am I fine with losing? Well, me and Kong, we started doing this challenge where we only brought $100 with us each to our
Okay.
local casino, and we're like, let's see how far $100 takes us. And so we did that for a good month or two. And then that's when we started noticing that our local casino was just in full force take mode. And I was like, okay, we're not going to go back there. So I'm okay with losing like maybe like 1,000 a month between me and Kong. 1,000, yeah. But if
Okay.
we're in Vegas, it's different because we don't get to go to Vegas that much.
Okay. So you have a budget for your local casino, and then you have a budget for Vegas. We established that already. Do you have a budget for your channel, or is your channel just something that's secondary or icing on the cake, so to speak, when you talk about your gambling budget?
Yeah, well, I never when you asked me about that earlier, I was like, I didn't really think about my channel as a business. I just kind of, for me, I like to play slots. It's more of a hobby for me. And when I go to the casino, I bring what I'm okay with losing. And I go in with that
Okay.
mindset of, if I lose this, I lose this. But whereas my channel, I never really like had like a budget for it. I just kind of I don't know if Brazen told you, but I kinda just go with it.
Okay. Hey, that's all good. That's all good. And when you're starting out, I mean, you're fairly new to YouTube. Um, so when you're starting out, everything's going to change as you start getting better and better at what you're doing. So you might look at YouTube now as something that just you're having fun and going with it, and you're using it to track your wins and losses, which is great. I mean, there's stories out there of people that started a YouTube channel to see what happened the night before because they got so drunk or they just wanted to find out what happened to their money. So people start YouTube channels for different reasons, but as it grows, it changes. So
Mhm.
you might think of it one way today, and next week, next month, it'll be different.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. I was actually talking to Kong about that, after we had talked to you earlier today, and I was like, "You know what? I didn't really think about that. Maybe we should start, like, keeping track of our expenses because, I do go play slot tournaments in Vegas sometimes. And so those could be
Okay.
costly too. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I never really took that into thought until like you mentioned it today.
Okay, so that slot tournament, how long have you been playing slot? Well, we haven't even asked you how long you've been gambling.
I've been gambling since I would say 2016.
Okay.
2016. That was my first time ever going to Vegas. Ever.
Okay.
That year,
Uh,
yeah.
Who did you go with?
I went with Kong. He had a conference for work, and so I ended up going, and that's when I started to kind of jump into learning how to play slots, and that's also how I learned how to play craps.
Okay.
Yes. So it's, that's how it all started. And then it landed into slot tournaments. And I think one of my first videos I posted on my channel was a slot tournament that I actually won on our Norwegian cruise ship.
Okay. Anonymous has a great question for you. When you have free play, I don't know how often you get out to Vegas, but when you have free play, how do you play it? Do you max bet it or do you low bet it?
I I'm trying to remember all the times. I think last time when I was in Vegas, I
Or
did
even
max
at your
bet.
local? Even at your
Oh,
local?
our local casino, they don't give us enough free play to max bet.
Okay.
Yeah. So over there, it might be just a little bit at our local, but in Vegas, like the Cosmopolitan might give me like $900 in free play, and I will max bet.
Okay. So let's talk about comps real quick here.
Hmm.
You were just in Vegas in March. I think it
Yeah.
was March. Yeah. You were
Or
just in Vegas
February.
in
Yeah.
February, March. I lose track.
Or
I'm like
March.
there
I
all
don't
the time.
remember.
So when you were there, you obviously spent a lot of money on the machines.
Hmm.
What was the return on that money in comps and services provided by Cosmo?
So with the Cosmo, because of having a platinum status is nice and everything, but and you could upgrade your room for for it's complimentary to upgrade. And so I ended up upgrading our room to the wraparound suite, and that's probably why I was losing. 'Cause I was telling Kong, I was like, "Man, they're probably taking all of our money right now because we upgraded to the wraparound suite, and the money that we're bringing here to gamble with is what they're taking from us to cover the fee for that." And so the comps are
Hey,
really good. But
well, you
the
never know. How about since you've been back home, have they sent you offers and
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
"Hey, we want you back right away"?
Yeah, they've literally like a week after we got home, they already sent me a letter in the mail, and they're already telling me that there's a slot tournament coming up. There's actually one this past March. I think there was one in April too, but there's a big one coming up in May, the weekend, I think May 6th through the 8th, and it's a
Okay,
$4,000 buy-in. And so I told Kong, I was like, I don't want to go because it's close to my birthday, but at the same time, like, I don't want to go because $4,000, yeah, with the chances, there's going to be 50 at the most 54 participants in it. And so, they're giving me comps and they're gonna say, you get what 4 or 5 nights comp stay, you get uh $450 in free play, and you get $300 in dining credit, and resort fees are covered. Like those are usually the comps that they send me.
okay. So
Yeah.
you brought up a good point there. You said it was 4K to enter that slot tournament.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How many tournaments have you entered that you've had to pay to enter?
I've the cruise, I think that's one, two, because I did two on the cruise ships. In Vegas, I did one at the Golden Nugget, and then I did the Venetian usually has they have slot tournaments there, and those are usually free. You don't have to pay for those. The Cosmo, I think I've done two there so far.
Okay.
Yeah, two there. And so they range anywhere from $500 all the way up to 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And have you won any of these tournaments?
No. I keep telling my host, I'm like, you guys need to change these machines. They're broken because these machines are too old to be doing slot tournaments.
Right? So have you ever came to California and played at any of the casinos here in California?
I have not been to any of the casinos in California. I have family in California, but I've never been to any of the casinos over there. I would love. It just depends.
Hey, you got to schedule a trip. Get out here. Yamaba Casino is one of the better casinos to come out to California for sure, uh, without a doubt. Let
Yes,
me
I'll have
see
to
here.
try it.
So you explained what flushing the toilet meant. Um, we talked about your biggest loss, your biggest win.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so let's talk about the last question here that I asked of the three at the beginning. How do you feel about airport gambling?
I actually like it. And Kong says completely different because he just doesn't like slots in general. So he'll play it when he's bored and when he's waiting on me. But for
Okay,
me, I've played the slots at the Vegas airport twice. I played the Huff and Puff and then the two Dragon Link machines the last time I was there. And they actually paid out pretty well. I mean, I put in $100 and I cashed out with like 800. So that's a win for me.
hey,
And
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I guess people are scared to play at the airport, but I think it was also because it was early in the morning because we get the early morning flights to go home. So it was like probably 5:30 in the morning when we were
okay.
playing. Yeah.
That's good. So I guess there's a follow-up question to that. When you
Mhm.
play at the airport, you're usually playing on your way out of town because nobody plays on their way in. However, we talked this morning and you were telling Kong, hey, we are going to play at the airport before we go to the casino. I really want to know how that's going to work out for you because, you know, that's not the first thing on somebody's mind. Hey, we're going to hit the airport and we're going to play slots at the airport and then we'll hit our hotel room. So I'd like to know how that works out for you when you go. When are you going to Vegas next?
I I'm actually going to be going on a girls trip July 22nd through the 25th. And then 2 weeks after that, I'm going with Kong and my brother and cousin and them because they have like a game thing going on August
Okay.
4th through the 8th. So I'll be in Vegas twice this year already.
Okay. So if you guys heard that correctly, she's going on the girls' trip. She's taking 20 G's with her on that trip because Kong won't be there to see her slap those buttons. And then the following trip, she's taking $500 because Kong's going to be watching her play. So, no, I'm joking. I know he supports you and encourages you. He just doesn't like seeing those big bets go by
He'll
real
watch it
quick.
later. I'll show it to him later.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us that story real quick of how he got frustrated, walked away, and then you're calling him a few minutes later.
All right, so there's actually two stories. So the first one that happened was last year, July 4th weekend when we were there. We brought $5,000 with us, and we played it all the way down to I think only having like $300 left, literally. And I was in the high limit room on piggy banking. I was just doing $5 bets with $100. And then I looked at Kong and I was like, I'm going to put the rest of the money in here. He looked at me with like the look of like, I don't want to be here. This sucks. I just want to go home. And so he was like, I'm not going to watch. And so he got up, left. He went to the little craps machine and he put his $20 in there. So when he was gone, I was doing $10 bets, I think. And I ended up getting a full screen of piggies. And I was like, "Oh, I should record this." And I was recording. I was like, "Huh, I should call Kong." But I was like, "Nah, he doesn't care." And then when I did get the full screen of piggies, I was like, "Wow, I should really call Kong." And I was like, "Nah, he's not gonna be here. It's gonna probably be a small bonus." And then when I hit the major, I was like, "Oh my god, I should call Kong." And so I called him up, and then he told me, I was like, "What was the first thing you thought of when I called you?" And he said, "You were either calling me for more money or you won something." And so I told him, I was like, "I won the major." And he was like, "No way." And so he left his $20 in the machine at the craps machine and came running all the way to the high limit room. And he was just like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you won the major." I think it was like close to 11,000. And
Wow.
so that's just the first story. The second one was our last back in March or February, I forgot. And he gave me his debit card, and he gave me the rest of his money, which is like $300 or something like that. And he was like, "I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. Here's my debit card. Here's the rest of my money." And so I was like,
Wait,
"Okay."
wait. He gave you the debit card again? Wow.
So he gave me the debit card, and then he just went to the room, and my sister-in-law is there with me. She's playing on the Dragon Link machines over there. It's close by the lightning cash machines. And so um I was okay, so this is what I was telling you guys about earlier, paying attention to the patterns. Everyone was hitting on 10-cent denom $5 bets, and everyone was getting paid out the major on $5 bets, 10-cent denom. And I was like, "All right, let's do this." So I got a few bonuses. It was okay. And it sucks because I wasn't recording any of this. Okay. So I got a few bonuses. I ended up losing my own 200 that I had in there. I put the rest of the 300 that Kong gave me into the machine.
Okay.
And I was playing the $5, and then I got the bonus, and then I got the bonus in the bonus, and then I got the major, and I was like, "Oh my god, I should call Kong again." I should call Kong. So I called Kong, and of course he's thinking the same thing. Either she just lost all her money and she's taking out more money or something. I called him, I told him I just won the major, and it was like close to 6,000. And he was like, "Dang, I just missed it." Because he literally just left, and it was like just 10 minutes into the game. So he's never there when I win big. So that's, it's a miss for him.
Wow. But hey, what's up? Straight Up Slots is in the house. Thank you for coming in. Yo, Ange, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Sorry, guys. Linda L. Rain's World wants to know which link games are better for high limit or regular floor high bets.
Which link games are better, high limits or regular floor at high bets? I think the link games. Okay, so
So
when
I
I
bet
play,
she's basically saying the high limit games or the regular floor betting the high limits.
I, for me personally, I prefer the high limit room. And I don't know if you guys have watched I think it's called Cowboy Slots. I forgot, but he used to be a slot tech, and so he knows the games a little more than most of us. And he was saying there's a reason why the high limit section is so small, and it's because those games pay out better because they're high limit. Your chances of hitting something on the floor, it's either luck or you just, completely lose everything. But
Hey babe, we're
I
going to the
prefer
high
high limits.
limit. Oh, sorry.
I do prefer high limits though, just because the high limit room, just because it's better in my opinion for the payout versus being out there on the floor. The floor is fun though, don't get me wrong. I've won hand pays on the floor though at a high bet.
Well, that's where most of my hand pays come. I
Mhm.
I rarely go into the high limit room. I'll stay on the floor all day. But that's just me because my butt cheeks clench up when I hit that $25 spin. I just I've done it a few times. I think I've had a couple of nice runs on Dragon Link where I built it up to like 16, 1700, and I say, hey, I'm going to do a couple of $25 spins, even a $50 spin. Whereas my counterpart, she doesn't bet that high, but every now and then I catch her throwing $100 into the machine and doing a $50 spin right off the bat, and not on accident, on purpose. So she'll test her luck. She's gotten lucky on that 150 denom where she hit that 16K. So that was a good
Mhm.
win for her. So, but
Yes.
yeah, I'm scared of the high limit room just because I know that I will just keep pressing that button.
You gotta just do it. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Right?
You never
Don't tell me
know.
Don't tell me that. I'm headed to both Yamava on Saturday and then Vegas on Sunday. So
Well,
it could be very dangerous for me to hear that kind of advice come
well,
across.
just
Definitely.
I before I started high limit, I'll be honest with you, before I started high limit, I was actually just doing like $25 in the high limit room. And
Okay.
that's actually when my host came and introduced himself to me. They've been keeping their eye on me. I know they were. And so literally when I went back in the middle of July, that's when I really went high limit, 50,
Okay.
100, 150. And I was like, maybe they didn't have that profile on me where I was a high limit better. And because
Okay.
I was betting like that, I was winning so much on that trip. You kind of get what I'm
Okay.
saying? Change it up a
Yeah.
little bit and see how it plays out for you. Because you just never know. Because they do keep profiles on you.
Oh yeah. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And they were watching you. That's normally what NG bets or Lady Luck or something like that. So, hey, if you could do those spins and you get something going, more power to you. As far as your channel goes, what do you want to do with your channel? Where do you want to go? You just gonna have fun and just keep rolling, or
Well, me and Kong, we were talking about it, and I did tell you earlier, we were wanting to do like show people how to play craps and roulette because I do have friends and family that do want to learn how to play. And we actually bought a real roulette wheel, a roulette mat, and a craps mat. And I was telling Kong, I was like, for educational purposes, we could teach people how to play craps. That way they will know how to play, and when they go to the casino, they could test their luck there. Because
yeah,
there's different techniques that you could do playing craps and roulette. It just depends on how you play.
true, true.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit you with a couple of just quick questions. I want
Mhm.
to know what you choose. I'll throw a few of them out there. Dogs or cats?
Dogs. I'm
Okay.
allergic to cats.
Well, you saw my cat jump up here earlier, so
Yes, I love
uh,
cats though. I love cats. I really do. I used to have kittens. I used to have kittens, and then I don't know what it is, but I think pregnancy messed with my sinuses or something, and now I'm just allergic.
okay,
But I am an animal lover. I am.
okay. So dogs versus cats. Okay, mountains or beaches?
Oh, beaches.
Okay, cars or trucks? Wait. Let me change it for you. Cars or minivans?
Hey,
Because
that's not fair.
cars or trucks?
Trucks. For
Uh,
sure, trucks.
okay, walking or biking?
Biking.
Okay, Bugs Bunny, Donald Duck.
Oh, Donald Duck.
Okay. Poor Bugs Bunny. Hey, it's close to Easter and nobody's even picking him. Basketball versus baseball.
Basketball.
Football, soccer.
Football.
Okay. California, New York.
Ooh. Ooh. California. I was born there.
Hey, there you go. Where were you born?
I was born in Reading.
Okay, so Northern California then.
Yeah, I was born there. I do have a lot of family. I have family in Moreno Valley, Sacramento, I think in San Francisco, all over California. So
Hey, fantastic. You got to come out here and visit us. You definitely do.
I
Anyway,
need to.
Anyway, guys, this is Sky Slots. Her channel has a mixture of low bets when she's at home and high limit betting when she's in Vegas. We got to get her out to Vegas more. She does a lot of high limit betting. She's got some new stuff coming up. I really appreciate if you haven't subscribed to her, please go over and subscribe to her. If you are subscribed, go out and share it with her. Hey, she's a new channel. She's a fun person. If you haven't noticed by her personality, her husband has the same personality, just with a little twist. And the twist is, hey, don't bet my money on this machine. But guys, please follow her. She's fun and she's going to be around for a long time. Thank you, Sky Slots, for coming in. This week, what we have coming up, guys, we have Saturday Hit It and Quit It. You know, if you're around in Southern California, come out to Yamaba. You have a lot of channels that you'll will be there all day long. You'll be able to interact with us. Yoshi Slots, Chumba Queen. Yeah, I can't even go down. Yeah, the slot drop. There's so many channels there that are going to be there. Spanglish Slots, just Triple M. Bad Boys Live. We're all gonna be there. Come down and hang out with us. Have a good time. I'll have some bracelets. I'll have some T-shirts. Whatever I have, you guys could get. You know, just come on down and say hi to us. Would really appreciate that. Monday evening, I have Slot Exotic on. They're another channel that's coming up, and they're fantastic. So I hope you tune in for that. Until then, let the good times roll, baby. We will see you next time. And hey, cheers.